Hello, everyone. So, once again, I'm here with you for the next session of webinar series, which is based upon my book, Pivot with Purpose. So, let's quickly start. And while we are starting, I'm just giving a quick introduction, whosoever is joining first time. So, I'm conducting a webinar series, and this is 11th session of that webinar series, basically. And this session is all about product life cycle. So we discussed about the tools, techniques, and strategy at the different stages of the product life cycle. So I'm host of this session. I'm Vikas Awasthi, and I'm here to share the things with you. Let me quickly share my screen and then let's start. Okay, so as I mentioned, this is 11th session, and in this session we will discuss about what is about declining stage of the product life cycle and how to revitalize that, how to take that decision that we should revitalize, and is it right time to decline or phase out the product basically. So now, so we will cover in this session, we'll have a quick recap of the previous sessions. We will discuss about the decline and revitalization phase, and we will deep dive into all of these phases, what are the strategies, tools, and techniques. And after that, we'll see some real world example where organization were able to revitalize, or they were able to decide that now it's the right time to decline. We have seen many products which we may using 5 years or 10 years before, they are not available right now in the market. They have declined, they have phased out, right? So we'll see the all these strategic aspect from this point of view. So just for the recap purpose, we have discussed about the ideation and inceptions previously. In the ideation and inception, we discussed what are the tools, how to brainstorm, how to do market research, how to validate that idea is good, or are we solving the right problem, or the problem is not right. After that, we discussed about the feasibility planning. We discussed the idea is right, problem is fine, it's there. You understood the root cause. Now, is there is a feasibility of that? There is a possibility I am solving a problem and customer is willing to pay to solve that problem $10 or $20, but the solution is having the $50 or $100 and the user is not there. So that's why we discussed about the feasibility and planning. And after that, we discussed about design to development. We discussed the lean concepts here. We discussed about the value stream. Also, we discussed some design thinking tools. ID introduction and growth in this phase, we discussed about, I shared the thought on the what are the growth parameters, how to test that, what are the right KPI, how to set up the right OKR. We discussed about the evidence-based management. And in the last session, we focused on the maturity and diversification, right? So whenever we are at the mature stage of the product life cycle, how are we doing? How can we determine that we are at the maturity stage? And what are the right tools and techniques to utilize that? Now we are at the decline phase. So now we need to discuss that we have enjoyed the maturity phase where we have maximized the profit as well. Now it's a time to decline. Every product has a life cycle, right? So we have to understand, as a product person, we have to understand that every product has a life cycle. Now it is up to us, based upon the scenario, either we let it decline, we can start some other product line, or we can revive this product itself. So let's deep dive into these aspects. So in the first section, we will cover the decline, and after the second section, we will cover the revitalization. First of all, we need to understand the decline is a natural progression. So do not go away with this. Accept it. This is a natural progression. Any product which is thriving, which is working, will have a end. That's for sure. And this is sometimes is a most challenging time for most of the product manager. Sometimes we as a product manager or the product person are very much attached to the product. So now we need to discuss that I really we are in the declining phase. Most of the time it happens we are in the declining phase, but people really is trying to fix that thing that we are still at the maturity phase. So we need to understand these dynamics. Embracing declining is about knowledge, acknowledging the realities of changing the world. World is changing and too fast. The people who may be liking the analog watch, right now there is a possibility they they must be liking the digital watch. There is a possibility, right? It depends upon the person to person. I'm not saying that analog phase is gone, but still the digital era is there. For a specific segment, it may have changed or it is changing. Apple is the biggest watch manufacturer company in this world. And finding opportunity amid the challenges. Challenges is there, things are declining. We are for sure about it, right? Now there are certain opportunity as well. So we need to take care of that thing that challenges is there, and challenges means there is some opportunity. How? Let's see. First of all, how to recognize that we are at the declining phase of the product life cycle. So there are certain parameters, certain examples here. We need to see are we really in the declining phase or not. So there may be combination of one or two, three options of these. First of all, we need to see either the sales revenue is decreasing or it's a flat, there is a reduced profit margin. Okay. There is a market saturation. So market penetration is already done, market is saturated. Competitive intensity, there is a possibility competitors are providing better solutions, or they previously we were having the enjoying the premiumization of our product, and right now that is commoditized. Technical obsolescence, outdated technology. There is a possibility that our technology is not up to the mark, or the product basically. Right now, we have a lot of different technology. Inability to keep up. We may not be able to keep up with the latest trend, latest technology. We should not shy away all these things. These are the tough discussions we should have and we should acknowledge. Changing customer preferences. There is a possibility the customer preferences and customer demand has changed. Previously, there may be a demand of something, but that may have changed, right? That is not actually there right now. We need to understand that aspect. Declining market share. There is a possibility the market share is declined. We may be having a good market share previously, but right now there is a possibility we may not be having that good market share. We need to understand. Product longevity. Sometimes it happens that we have the product has enjoyed a lot of things during the journey, during the life cycle. Now product is aged due to different reasons, like again technology as well, market share as well. So as I mentioned, there is no one specific reason. All the reasons are related to each other. Cannibalizing by newer products, internal competition. Sometime we have launched a new product and we have created the competition for our previous product as well. Whenever Coca-Cola is acquiring any new cola product in any country, they try to phase out that. They create a competition with Coke and they try to phase out that. Same they tried with Thumbs Up, although the case was different. They were not able to phase out Thumbs Up due to the certain reason. Basically, that's again a very good market case study. We will discuss in detail in some other day. Eroding margins. We have to give a lot of discounts. Margins are not there. Reduce innovations. We are not able to innovate. Customer churn, there is a high churn in the customer. We cannot see that we have that much of customer is using today our product, tomorrow another product, but loyalty is not there. So all of these things, if majority of these things are true about your product at any given point of time, think about this is declining phase, right? Now product is declined. So product is in declining phase. Declining means we have to sunset the product, right? Although we can another strategy as well, but right now let's discuss about the sunsetting. If we decided that it is the right time to sunset the product, we need to have a clear strategy to sunset the product. We need not to. We make sure that we are not diluting the brand value. Communication is the key. A transparent communication should be there. User support. If a user have purchased the product, whatever terms and conditions we have shared, that how much time we will provide this support to the users, that should be provided. Do not compromise with that. Ending product life cycle does not mean you are ending the brand or you are ending with the organization. There are a lot of things. Phase shutdown. Phase shutdown means it should not happen that we are shutting down the product at one go. No. The shutdown should happen in a proper way. Like, okay, from this date, we were not going to release any new things except the security patches. I'm talking about the digital product. From this date onwards, we will not provide the on-call support. So there should be a phased out approach so that customers are also well aware after this much time support will not be there, step by step, right? Alternative offering, offer alternative to the user, either migrate user to new app or to new product, or have some partnership with some other player in the market so that people can smoothly go to there. And right now the data management is the biggest challenge. We have data. If our product is a digital product, what to do with that data? What is our terms and conditions with the user? We should keep these things in mind. Should we delete the data? Should we keep or allow access of the user data? Existing user, they can access the data. All of these things should be determined, should be keeping into the mind based upon the contract or based upon the licensing term. And so that legal and compliance plays a big role here. What is our contractual obligation? Consult with the legal team. That's why we should have a team, and legal team should also be playing a big role here. We should be redirecting the resource. It should not happen that we are phasing out the product, but there is a team already working on this product and talent is there. So retain that talent. Importantly, create a sunsetting committee. Cross-functional team, it should be having legal or whatsoever department or person need to involve to take the decision making. Cross-functional team, and there should be a decision framework. How are we going to take forward? Once we decided or we sunset the product, there should be post-sunset analysis, user feedback, performance evolution. Let me give you an example. The same example which I was mentioning about the Coke. Coke tried when Coke entered into the India and they purchased Thumbs Up, the Indian brand, Indian cola brand. And what they did, they tried to sunset that Thumbs Up so that they have one cola brand in India, Coca Cola, and that should be thriving. But the situation was different. Whenever they phased out thumbs up, the Coca-Cola sale trims down or the competitor sale is up. They did it, they tried it two times or multiple times basically, but it didn't work. So they did user feedback, performance evaluation, post sunset analysis, and they figure out no. They have to come up with that brand. Now thumbs up is also there. Although they have decided to sunset that, but still thumbs up is there in the market. Archiving, again, this is related to data strategy and retain intellectual property. See, during the journey of the product, we have done, if we have any intellectual property, we should retain that. Right? So these are some of the strategy which we should be considering while we are deciding that now it's a time to sunset the product. On the other hand, we think that let's not sunset the product. We are seeing is still there is a potential. So what to do? Revive the cycle. Revive the cycle means our product is here. Now this is at the maturity stage and here we are declining. But you can extend that cycle. And even further, some product have extended their cycle multiple times. So revitalization means breathing new life to the product. Rediscover your product potential because one this potential we discussed, we already enjoy the maturity period. Rethink its relevance. So what are the important imperatives for this phase or this step basically? First of all, extend life cycle. Regain relevance. We need to extend the product life cycle and we have to regain that relevance of the product in terms of the customer or the user so that we can we can be still relevant in front of the audience or for the user. Optimize resources. Profitability may reduce. Optimize the resources. Do we really need that much of resources? And spark innovation. Innovation is the key. Electronics companies, every time whenever they are introducing any product, first reason is competition. Also, whenever they are revitalizing, they are keep doing innovation. A car brand, whenever they are launching, they think the product, there is a life cycle of this car. After 1 or 2 year or 3 year, they launch some different features. Maruti Alto, they have revived that multiple times with some innovation for that particular segment. How to rebrand and reposition? First of all, market research. I have already shared primary, secondary market research, all these things while we were discussing about the initial phase of this webinars. Gain user insight, competitor insight, SWOT analysis, TOS analysis. Do that exercise again. Whatever we did in the session one, do that exercise again. Reassessing the value proposition. Remember value canvas. What value we are ultimately giving to the customer. Refine messaging. Sometimes the messaging which we were passing 1 year or 2 year back, or the 20 year back may not be relevant right now. Right now, some of the food outlets, some famous food outlets, they have started sharing some sort of information that their food is healthy. They have some healthy options as well. Rebranding elements, visible elements, change the name. Repositioning in terms of segmentation, target audience. Do we need to pivot the target audience? Do we need to some more use cases? Do we need to work upon pricing strategy? And for the pricing strategy, we will have a separate section. In the next section, we will deep dive in detail about the pricing strategy with respect to different stages of the product life cycle. Product enhancement, enhance the product, add some feature, improve the quality, marketing and promotion, invest in the marketing and promotion with the new branding, create user engagement, testing and iteration. We have already discussed all of these things in last couple of webinars, but whenever we are revitalizing product, we need to again think from the same perspective. Like we need to create something, build new feature, do some innovation. Do we have to do market research? Same 5-day design sprint we need to do. Launch and communication, measure success, KPIs, evidence-based management we discuss, and keep a long-term vision. So these are the strategy we discussed about the decline phase, sunsetting strategy as well, and reviving as well. So at the decline stage, whenever we need to decide either these two options. Let's discuss some of the case studies where organizations were able to thrive even when they were in the declining stage. Like in early 2000, the LICO lost its core customer and they overextending into the multiple dimensions, clothing, video games, theme park, and they were losing their market very badly. Now they refocused on core brick and base set. Basically, they refocused on their strength again, and they repositions in particular that segment, calibrate the movie franchisee, and they were able to thrive. They were able to work on that aspect. The outcome was in 2015, it was the most profitable toy company. So sometimes revival is about getting back to your core. It's not about in the product life cycle. We have added a lot of things in the product, and sometimes we miss the core from where we started. What was the purpose? So Lego case study is a very good example of that. Sometime in the journey we started adding a lot of things. Now that things are not working, so it's a better to go back to the basics where we started, right? And another case study is Apple iMac to iPod to iPhone, a cycle of reinvention. Mac was there in the market, and 90s Apple was losing the relevance. Computer was there, Windows, Microsoft was there, IBM was also there. They focused on design-led innovation with iMac. After that, they launched iPad and then iPhone. Reinvention, cycle of reinvention, not one thing. Reinvention after reinvention after reinvention. I'm not sure what Mac is working or this Apple is working basically for the new revolution. The revolution, this kind of iPad was a revolution or iPhone was a revolution. Let's see, there must be something. And the outcome was they have transformed, and in one time this organization was struggling as a hardware company, and it became the world's most valuable brand. So each product decline, whenever you are seeing the declining of a phase of any product, actually it's a time to do some reinvention. So again, strategically and interestingly, as I mentioned at the starting of this session as well, Whenever there is a problem, declining is not a problem. It's a time to think out of the box. Another case study about the Starbucks. They over expand a lot of outlet they open in USA. What the brand experience diluted. They bring their CEO back and they closed all underperformed stores, retained baristas and focused on in-store experience. They focused on a lot focus on the in-store experience. Outcome was is sales recovered and Starbucks repositioned as a third place again. So revival is not about the products, it's about experience, culture, and leadership. So we discussed it's about innovation, it's about sometime going to your basics or going to your core. Sometime it's a experience, culture, leadership. It is not about that only we are adding new features. We are adding new coffee brand or new kind of coffee itself in the shelf. It's more than that. Product is not just a mere product which we are seeing. The product is a lot around it. Yep. So just recapping of this framework, basically decline is something recognize, decide and sunset. And revitalization is assess the situation whenever we are at the declining phase, reinvent and relaunch. Reinvent maybe as I mentioned, it may be experience, it may be a support system, it may be adding new feature, it may be new product line, or it may be supporting product line. So whatever, there may be a number of strategies, almost 10 strategies we discussed, right? So whenever we are at a declining phase, it's not a time to be worried. It's a time to be cautious and to start or pivoting with your purpose. Purpose may be sunset, purpose may be revitalization. So at the end, key takeaways of this session, declining is not the end, it's a crossroad. Strategy and empathy both matter, as I discussed about the strategy and experiences as well. Revitalization is innovation plus insight. We have a lot of insight because we are running our product. We have gone through different phases of the product life cycle before going to the decline phase. Know when to pivot, pause, and preserve. This is very important. Decisions should be taken based upon understanding data point, not from the gut feeling. So this was today's session, and today's session our focus was the declining phase and how to decide it's the right time to sunset or revitalize. In the next session of this series, we will cover the mostly towards the pricing strategies, at what stage, what should be the pricing strategies, when should we getting maximum profit. All about pricing we will discuss during the next session. So in this series, I believe there will be two more sessions. One will be dedicated to pricing and couple of aspects related to overall product life cycle. And after that, the another session will be utilizing the cutting edge technologies, especially AI in the product life cycle, how to utilize that. We will discuss. So with that, thanks for joining. And if you like the session, please subscribe the channel, like the videos. Also, I'll be keep sharing the insight as we move on. Thanks everyone. Stay tuned till for the next session, and you can always register for the upcoming webinars. There is a webinar link available, registration link available in the description of this video. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks everyone, and stay in touch.